Chief Paul Workman reports.
2 steps forward and now 2 steps back for a scrappy ragtag army that lacks weapons and leadership. Outgunned and outflanked by Gaddafi's forces, with a lull in NATO air cover, the rebels have again gone rushing back the way they came. For the second time, losing the important oil town of Ras Lanuf. We entered Ras Lanuf, he says. They began shelling. We had to leave. A military gain for Muammar Gaddafi. But word tonight of a key defection from his inner circle. Libya's foreign minister Moussa Koussa has fled to London, taking many of Gaddafi's secrets with him. It's obvious what the anti-Gaddafi forces need, but there is still no agreement to send weapons, or lethal assistance as it's called. There is, however, a lot of debate.
So as I've told the House before, we do not rule it out, but we have not taken the decision to do so.
The same for the Americans, worried about deepening their involvement in another country's civil war.
We're not going to rush into anything here without carefully considering what the policy decision is, what the outcome we desire is.
Worry number 2, that some of those weapons might fall into the hands of Islamic militants. Short of sending arms, there are reports that President Obama has already signed a secret operations in Libya, putting CIA agents on the ground to help the rebels. Paul Workman, CTV News, Washington.
In business news, the dollar went up, oil went down, and some positive job data from the United States helped the markets make a healthy run into positive territory. Here's a quick glance at some closing numbers.
When we turn lobster into...
We are...
Group Duran Duran.
Proves to be a bonus for the...
Mommy, let's go.
Yeah, since he was 3 years old, and he was immediately a lightning rod. Everybody wants to know what Simon Cowell is thinking.
I'm here to do a job, and I'm going to do some...
Only occasional very light snow in the morning, mixing with it turning over to very light rain in the afternoon. A lot of dry.
Snow outside right now, and it's going to continue overnight tonight.
The latest plan at Fukushima is to throw a giant radiation-catching blanket over the reactor itself. But today the UN says highly elevated radiation levels about 20 kilometers beyond the evacuation zone warrant evacuating an even wider area. Those already evacuated, said the chair of the electric company, likely won't be able to go back in a few weeks. It could, in fact, take about 30 years, officials believe, if the radiation leak continues. But that's just around the reactor itself. While there is radiation floating around the U.S. and Canada from Japan, scientists say you'd need to breathe it in for about 2,000 years just to equal the dose of a chest X-ray. David Coleman, CBC News, New York.
There are reports tonight that Barack Obama has signed a secret order approving covert operations in Libya. It raises the possibility of arming the rebels. Today it was clear they are still no match for Gaddafi's weapons. Despite coalition airstrikes, rebel forces were forced to retreat from areas they captured just days ago. The CBC's Margaret Evans was there on the front lines. Margaret.
Peter, rebels here in Libya describe what happened along the front line today as a tactical retreat. Panicked is a far more accurate description.
I saw chaotic scenes like this along the front near the town of Brega. Hundreds of vehicles carrying fighters and weapons turning tail after coming under fire and speeding down the road away from the advance of Muammar Gaddafi's troops. There was answering fire from the rebels, but not enough to stop Gaddafi's push down this coastal road for a second time, despite Allied airstrikes confirmed along it today.